Welcome to the TSD Mindfulness video for teaching number 10. The second item on the list of the desires of the temperamental body is the gut field desires preservation. This is quite opposite to the mental field, which desires change, if you've seen the video for teaching number 9. And so this video is going to be really helpful for people who have a discomfort with change. And so this video might help you understand what's driving that, what's happening on a deep level, and how to make it better. The gut field desires preservation first and foremost to keep us alive. This is the gut field's primary job. You know, the gut field is at work when you observe an animal fight for its life, right? That is the gut field taking over, making all the decisions and doing whatever we need to do to survive. In these circumstances, the gut field has taken over the temperamental body. So you can think of it that way too, that the nervous system has been engaged, it's activated, it's kind of bypassing the emotions, it's bypassing even some thinking, rational thinking in some situations. A frog will climb out of a container, a bird will feed itself, a squirrel will flee from a predator. All these creatures are receiving impulses from their gut field, telling them to do whatever it is in their power to survive. Interestingly, all vertebrates have a gut field, and some animals have a heart field, and a smaller number of animals have a mental field. And so the way that you can determine that is by looking at the brain. For example, a fish has a reptilian complex in the brain, and it has a limbic system, but it doesn't have a neocortex. So the reptilian complex is associated with the gut field, the limbic system is associated with the heart field, and the neocortex is associated with the mental field. So this indicates that the fish has a gut field and a heart field, but not a mental field. Here are some other situations that the gut field likes to preserve someone else's life. So it's not just your life, but the gut field will also get triggered if someone else's life is in danger. If we have someone close to us fighting for their own survival, our gut field is affected. Our gut field is also invested in emotional survival. If our gut senses a situation in which we might become emotionally devastated or just experience an emotion that feels uncomfortable for you, your nervous system will often react with this hard no, like, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to put ourselves in a situation where we're going to feel this uncomfortable emotion. This is actually the number one reason for gut triggers, getting your nervous system activated with the people that I work with. So I coach people individually. This is the number one reason why people are going into fight or flight, is because on a deep level, it might not look like it on the surface. We really have to explore and ask a lot of questions to get to that deep level. But more times than not, on the deepest level, the person's gut is getting engaged because of kind of a fear of feeling a certain emotion. We are triggered into fight or flight, freeze or fawn multiple times a day. And usually when people start working with me, they are not aware that this is happening. But the more that you do this practice, tune into your gut, you start to realize that you are getting triggered into this several times a day. And there are techniques to do to soothe yourself through that process. So overall, one of the remedy for this, getting your gut triggered because of feeling a certain emotion, is learning how to feel your emotions in a healthy way. And that's what I work with my clients to learn how to do, how to feel fear in a healthy way, how to feel rejection, abandonment in a healthy way, how to feel anger in a healthy way. So then there's not so much fear around moving into these emotions, because they know how to sit with it, let it come through, and then it dissipates. So that's really the way to help with that type of gut trigger. So there's 3 main reasons that our gut gets triggered. One is physical survival. So I already talked about that. doesn't happen as often for an average American. Number 2 is emotional survival. And the third is the next one I'm going to talk about, which is having your reputation survive. So the gut field is also concerned about preserving the ego. That's part of this reputation surviving. But a good way to think about it is our reputation surviving. If we have a threat to that, that's usually because someone questions our skills or questions our integrity. It can be ourselves questioning. It can be ourselves telling us we're not good enough. It can also trigger us into fight or flight. But the thing is this emotional survival and egotistical survival is not always in our best interest. In fact, in some situations, just emotionally falling apart or having your ego completely deflated is really key to your breakthrough, to growing your growth as a person, and also important to moving into perfect relationships, which we've talked about in previous teachings, that the reason we practice TSD mindfulness on a big picture level is to move into those perfect relationships with ourselves, other people, with food, with money, and so forth. So therefore, it's important that we know how to soothe our guts during TSD mindfulness. Moreover, our gut's reaction to loss of preservation distracts us from the heart and makes it difficult or impossible to dwell in the heart field. So that's the idea. We're taming our mental field, we're soothing our gut field, balancing that seesaw so we can really be there in the heart field and really open up to what's there, whether it's pain or joy, whatever it is. And this is the conclusion of teaching number 10 of the TSD mindfulness teachings.